Namaste. Okay, start. Gurureva gatihi gurumeva bhaje gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave na guroh paramam chishurasmi guroh matirasti gurau mama pahi guroh Saraswati namastestu veena pustakadharini hamsavahana marudhe vidyadanam kurushvame. Okay, so we were doing the Kridanta parichaya. So Kridanta parichaya, we were doing the Kridanta parichaya. So as I told you, the first four pratyayas, whatever we were just going through the types of Kridanta. So they are not there in the Pustaka. Only the one of them is given in the Pustaka. Okay, so we will see introduction to Kridanta. So Dhatu plus Ting pratyaya is Tingantam. Okay, so if in a word a Ting pratyaya is heard at the end, then that word is a Tinganta. Okay, it is a verb form. It is called a Tinganta. Same way you can add a Krit pratyaya to a Dhatu. Okay, so when you add a Krit pratyaya to a Dhatu, what you end up with is a Kridanta pratipadikam. So because Krit is heard at the end, it is called a Kridanta pratipadikam. Okay, what kind of pratipadika? It is a Kridanta pratipadika because we have added a Krit pratyaya to the Dhatu. Now you can't use this pratipadika in your sentence. Okay, so a pratipadika form should never be used in any sentence. It is not a pada. So to make it a pada, we have to add the supratyaya and we come up with the different forms, right? Prathama vibhakti, dvitiya vibhakti, all those forms we come up with and we can use those individual words in the sentence. Okay, so they are called the subantas. So any word that we wish to use either in writing or while speaking, it should be a subanta. We saw the four types of Krit pratyaya. So that which denotes present, we saw the Shatru and shanach. Okay, Shatru and shanach are widely used to denote the present tense. We have Ktavatu and Tap pratyaya. So when these two pratyayas are added to the Dhatu, we end up with a subanta which denotes the past tense. Okay, they denote the past. Avyayas, twa and tumun, which you have already learnt. So these are avyayas. They have only this one form. You don't have the different forms. And the last one, the moods, whatever that indicates. The mood we will be going through them. So Tavyat and aniyar. So we have the Tavyat and aniyar covered in the Pustaka. So just quickly go through the Shatru and shanach which we saw last class. So we have parasmaipadi dhatubhyaha Shatru pratyayaha. So Shatru and shanach are two different pratyayas. We have to add them to the dhatu. And what kind of dhatu? Shatru can only be added to a parasmaipadi dhatu. And when you add Shatru, what you hear is at at the end. So that will be the pratipadika. The pratipadika will have a at heard at the end. So they will be declined like a takaranta shabda. Right? So examples of Shatru pratyaya. Gamudatu, Gachan, Gachanti, Gachat. So they take different forms in different linga. Okay, so linga vyavastha, vachana vyavastha, everything is there. So Gachan in Pullinga, Gachanti Strilinga and Gachat in Napumsakalinga. So Nrit Dhatu, so Nrityan, Nrityanti, Nrityat. Okay, so finally these are the words that will be using in the sentence. So don't worry about the Pratipadika form. We should know how to decline it. It is all going to be takaranta. We are going to add at, so it will be a takaranta. And as I shared in the last class, you may memorize the table. Okay, so we saw this patat shabda, right? So we will have to remember the forms so that we can use them as adjectives in the sentences. To an atmanepadi dhatu, we can only add shanach pratyaya. The same meaning. Both the pratyayas convey the same meaning, the same kind of usage. Both are Vartamana Kalartha Pratyaya. The difference is you add Shatru to Parasmaipadi and Shanach is added to a Atmanepadi Dhatu. Yedh Dhatu, Atmanepadi Dhatu, Yedhamanaha, Pullinge, Yedamana, Strilinge, Yedamanam, Napumsakalinga. Okay, so here we hear the Mana. Then Shi Dhatu, Shayanaha, Shayana, Shayanam. All these are Ekavachana forms in the three lingas. You hear a Ana. So when you add shanach, so it will be a akaranta. The pratipadika will be a akaranta for pullinga. So it will be declined like Rama Shabda. Edamanaha will be declined like Rama Shabda. Edamanaha, Edamano, Edamanaha in pullinga. In strilinga, you have Edamana is declined like Sita or Rama. Then in Napumsakalinga it is like vanam or phalam shabda. Edamanam, edamane, edamanani. Okay. Then shayanaha, shayana, shayanam, the same Rama shabda. In Strilinga like Sita shabda, and Napumsakalinga like Vana shabda. Ana is her. And Vartamana kalarte bhavati. Kartaram suchayati. Okay, so whenever we use these words as adjectives, so Gacchan Ramaha, Gacchantam Ramam, Gacchata Ramena. So these are normally used as an adjective, Visheshana in the sentence, and it is indicating the Karta. So Gaccha, the Gamana Kriya, whoever does the Gamana Kriya, it will be a Visheshana to that. Say Rama is the person who is walking or going. So the going action will be used as a Shatranta, as an adjective for Rama. Rama is the Karta of that action, right? So when I say Gacchan Ramaha, Gacchan indicates its Karta who is Rama. Kartaram suchayati sapta vibhaktishu trishu lingeshu trishu vachaneshu prayogaha. So you have to remember the 21 forms. Visheshya visheshana bhavena prayogaha. So commonly or normally you will only use these as Visheshana in a sentence. So to indicate that a person who is doing some Kriya. So this will be a Visheshana which will talk about a Kriya that the person does. So this is all about Shatru shanach. So the second pratyaya that we will cover is the ktavatu pratyaya. So pat is the dhatu. When you add ktavatu, tavat is what will be remaining. Okay, in ktavatu, actually it is ktavatu. There is a ik there. Ktavatu is a vyakarana term. So we say ktavatu, we say. So tavat will be heard in the pratipadika. So patti tavat, pat and tavat, patti tavat is the rupa. That will be the pratipadika. Then we have supratyaya. You can't use patti tavat in your sentence. So we are making it as a pada, as a subanta. So we add the supratyaya. So pattitavan in pullinga, pattitavati in strilinga, pattitavat in Napumsakalinga. So you have the 21 forms here. So pattitavat is a pratipadikam, kridantam pratipadikam, to which we add the supratyaya and we end up with forms. The 21 forms separately in Pullinga, 21 in Strilinga and 21 in Napumsakalinga. Again, as I told in Shatru shanach, the Napumsakalinga prayoga is very limited. You will only see lot of prayoga in Pullinga and Strilinga. So we should definitely know the forms in Pullinga and Strilinga. And Strilinga, it is always a dirgha ikaranta, so it always takes forms like Gauri. That is also easy. Only the Pullinga is different in the case of Shatru and in the case of this Kta-vatu. So we will have to remember the forms. Linga vachana vyavastha asti. So Vandu plus Tavatu, we have Vanditavan in Pullinga. Vanditavan, Vanditavati, Vanditavat. Okay. So Vanditavan means he saluted iti artha. Always remember Tavatu past tense. It denotes past tense. So Vanditavan is like Avandata. Vand is Atmanepadi dhatu. Avandata. So instead of using lang lakara. So normally while speaking, okay, so in the when we do the sambhashana in Samskrita, instead of using the lang lakara to indicate past tense, people commonly use this Tavatu pratyayantas. Okay, so we use Vanditavan, Gatavan, Khaditavan instead of saying Akhadat, right? Apathat. That instead of using the lang for denoting the past tense, it is very, very easy to use this Tavatu pratyaya in past tense. Likhdatu, Likhitavan, Likhitavati, Likhitavat. Kridatu, Kritavan, Kritavan, Kritavati, Kritavat. So all these he did, iti artha, or I did. The Dadatu, Dattavan, Dattavati, Dattavat. Then Drushadatu, Drushtavan, Drushtavati, Drushtavat. So the meaning conveyed is same as that conveyed by the lang lakara. Okay, so apashyat, okay, apashyat or Drushtavan, both mean the same. So apashyat is a tinganta, the tinganta prayoga. The difference between the usage is when you use the tinganta prayoga, when you say apathat, Ramaha apathat. Whereas when you want to say aham, I will say aham apatam, right? The purusha vyavastha is there with respect to the lang lakara, whereas this Tavatu pratyaya is very easy to use because Ramaha patitavan, aham again, if I am a male person, I would say patitavan, tvam patitavan. For all these three purusha, no, prathama purusha, madhyama purusha and uttama purusha, it is only that one single form in ekavachanam which is patitavan. If it is a male person, if a female person, will say patitavati. Only the linga vyavastha is there. This purusha vyavastha is not there. So when I say aham manditavan, tvam manditavan, ramaha manditavan, for all the three types of karta, say in uttama purusha, prathama purusha and madhyama purusha, it is only this single form. Say lakitavan, athava, kritavan, dattavan, right, in pullinga. If that same people are strilinga, then feminine words, then we say kritavati, Sita kritavati, Sita likitavati, right? Only that difference is there. Sa likitavati, aham likitavati, right? So when you use lang, so that is why people prefer to use this as it is easy. So when you use lang, the purusha vyavastha is there. You will have to use the right kriya padam for the right karta, right? If you say saha, you have to use apatat. If you say aham, you should say apatam, right? The change is there. Whereas that is not there with respect to the ktavatu pratyaya. Whatever is the karta, whether prathama purusha or uttama purusha or madhyama purusha, it is the same pada, vanditavan or likitavan, whatever. Okay. So again, how to, now this is ekavachana form in pullinga, strilinga, napumsakalinga. What about the other 21 forms? So it's like ktavatu is a pratipadika for which we have these pullinga forms. So again, intau, intaha, just like your Shatru, gachan, gachantau, gachantaha. Same way, gatavan, gatavantau, gatavantaha. Like Bhagavan, Bhagavat Shabda. Okay, Bhagavan, Bhagavantau, Bhagavantaha. So if you know Bhagavan Shabda, this is easy. Okay, so Dvitiya Vibhakti, Gatavantam, Gatavantau, Gatavataha. From Tritiya, Gatavata, Gatavata Ramena. Okay, so when I say Gatavata, by the one who has gone, past tense, that's all. So Shatru is conveying present, Kta-vatu is conveying past tense. Okay, so Gatavata, Gatavadbhyam, Gatavadbihi, Gatavate, Gatavadbhyam, Gatavadbhyaha, Gatavataha, Gatavadbhyam, Gatavadbhyaha, Gatavataha, Gatavatoho, Gatavatam, Gatavati, Gatavatoho, Gatavatsu. Okay, this is quite similar to this patat also, a little bit different. So the prathama dvitiya forms. So in intau intaha, you can remember this. So it is gatavan. Okay, so tavan vantau vantaha. There it is gachan gachantau gachantaha. Okay, that in part is the same, but the first part is different. We will have to remember. Okay, then strilinga, it is like Gauri. So Gatavati, Gatavatyau, Gatavatyaha, Gauri, Gauryau, Gauryaha. Okay, so you know the Gauri Shabda. So Gatavati is just like decline like Gauri. In Shatru also it is like Gauri. Then Napumsakalinga is like your Jagat Shabda. Gatavat, Gatavati, Gatavanti. Okay, so only the Prathama and Dvitiya are different, and Napumsakalinga Prayogam you will not commonly use, okay, as you use some napumsakalinga, I mean the pullinga and the strilinga. Anyway, you can remember the prathama, dvitiya, the rest of the starting from tritiya, it is the same form as pullinga. Okay, same like pullinga. Okay, so this is the ktavatu pratyaya. So kartari prayoge bhutakaalarte ktavatu pratyayaha. Okay, remember this pratyaya is used in which kala, that you should remember. So in Shatru shanach we saw it was vartamana kala. Right, so when we want, if you want to convey something in present, it's Shatru shanach. Bhuta kalarte ktavatu pratyaya. Okay, so whenever you have a word which has a ktavatu pratyaya, then it means the word is conveying something done in the past. Okay, and kartari prayoga, it is a kartari prayoga. Aham likitavan or aham likitavati is a kartari prayoga. So the kriya in the sense here the kridanta pada will go with the karta. So Ramaha shlokam patitavan. So Ramaha patitavan. Aham shlokam patitavan. Tvam shlokam patitavan. The same. And this patitavan has vachana vyavastha with Rama. If it is one Rama, it is patitavan. Ramau patitavantau. Ramaha patitavantaha. Patitavan patitavantau patitavantaha. Intau intaha. Okay, so this is like kartari, so this is like a verb. Your patitavan is like apatat. So apatat will always go with Rama, vachana vyavastha, right? Same way, patitavan has a vachana vyavastha with the karta, Rama. Sita rotikam khaditavati. So Sita ate rotika. Okay, this is conveying past. So Rama read the shloka, Sita ate rotika. Balakaha katham shrutavantaha. So the boys heard the story. So shrutavantaha kimartam? We have balakaha in bahuvachana. We have balakaha shrutavan. Balakaha katham shrutavan. Balakaha shrutavantaha. Aham grihakaryam likitavan. So aham likitavan, right? So likitavan, likitavanto, likitavantaha. Aham is singular, so we have likitavan. Tvam gramam gatavan kim. Okay, so tvam gatavan, aham gatavan, ramaha gatavan. Okay, it is the same for all the three types of the purusha, the prathama purusha, karta or karta of madhyama purusha or the uttama purusha. Okay, it is the same rupa, easy prayoga compared to lang lakara. So this is all about ktavatu pratyaya. So instead of using lang, you can slowly start using this ktavatu pratyaya. Then we have ikta pratyaya. So we have ktavatu and ta. Both are bhutakalartha pratyaya. So we have the ta pratyaya also denoting the bhutakala. So we have pat plus ta. So we have pathita iti bhavati. So pat and ta, pathita. So it is ending in akara. So ikta pratyaya, only the ta gets added. Okay, so what you hear at the end is the ta. Ta is what you will hear, which is luckily akaranta. So no problem with the shabda. It is Rama, Sita and phalam in napumsakalinga. So pathita is a kridanta pratipadikam. So you have to add the supratyaya to make it as a pada and use it. So pathitaha in pullinga, patita in strilingam, pathitam in napumsakalingam. So this is patita is akaranta pratipadika. So in pullinga Rama, patitaha, patitau, patitaha, like Rama shabda. Patita in strilinga like Sita shabda. Sita, Site, Sitaha, patita, patite, patitaha. Then napumsakalingam vanam vane vanani, patitham, patite, patitani. Iti bhavati. Again, so you have 21 forms in pullinga, 21 in strilinga and 21 in napumsakalinga. Pullinge akarantaha pullingaha Rama shabdavat rupani bhavati. Patita is the pratipadikam. Strilinge akarantaha strilingaha Sita shabdavat rupani. Napumsakalinge akarantaha napumsakalingaha vana shabdavat rupani. Okay, so once you know the pratipadika, so Shatru it is at. You add the at. For shanach it is ana or mana. Then for this ktavatu it is tavat is what you will add. Then for ta pratyaya it is ta, only ta. Okay, so if the pratipadika is akaranta ending in a, hrasva akara, then you will have this Rama, Sita and Vana. Okay, so this in pullinga it will be like Rama, strilinga Sita and napumsakalinga Vana. Only when it is a it takaranta like Shatru will at, patitavat or patan, the patat, right? If you have patat or patitavat for tavatu and Shatru, then it is it takaranta shabda. You will have to remember the rupa. That in, intau, intaha rupa will be has to be remembered. So karmani prayoge bhutakalarthe tapratyaya. So you saw this ktavatu pratyaya. We have the kartari kind of prayoga. Aham likitavan, right? There it was the kartari kind of prayoga. So this kridanta padam had vachana vyavastha with the karta. Here when you use the tap pratyaya, it has to be a karmani kind of a prayoga. Shlokaha patitaha, right? So ramena shlokaha patitaha. So we say in kartari prayoga, if the same sentence is told in kartari prayoga using a lakara, tinganta, how do we say? Ramaha shlokam apatat. So that will be the sentence. Ramaha shlokam apatat. This will be the kartari prayoga for this sentence, right? If you want to use the same kartari prayoga using your kridanta, so this is with tinganta. Ramaha shlokam apatat. You have apatat which is a tinganta. If I want to use a kridanta, right? Instead of apatat, I can say Ramaha shlokam patitavan. Okay, both Ramaha shlokam apatat, Ramaha shlokam patitavan, both are kartari kind of prayoga. In one you hear the tinganta, in the other there is no tinganta, you hear the kriya through a kridanta. Patitavan is telling you what was the action he did. Right? So these are the two kinds of kartari. When you do the same Ramaha shlokam apatat in karmani, what do we say? We do shlokam becomes shlokaha, pratama vibhakti, then apatat. So you will have to say pat, ya and tha. Like alabhata will have apatyata. Ramena shlokaha apathyata. Right? It is a conversion in lakara. The same way, I can also do it in another way. Say like we have Ramaha shlokam patitavan is another way in Kartari. Ramaha shlokam patitavan instead of apatat. This patitavan, when it can be used in Kartari, right? So for Karmani, I will say Ramena shlokaha patitaha. Okay. So this is easier compared to apathyata. Finally, all four kinds of meaning, the sentences mean the same. Rama read the shloka. The meaning is the same, but Rama read shloka can be told in Samskrita in four different ways, two in Kartari Prayoga and two ways in Karmani Prayoga. What are the two ways in Kartari? Ramaha shlokam apathat, using a tinganta. Second way in Kartari, Ramaha shlokam patitavan, using a ktavatu pratyaya, which is a kridanta. Right? See, these are the two kinds of prayoga in Kartari. In Karmani again I can do it in two ways. One is with the lakara, the tinganta. Ramena shlokaha apathyata. Pat, ya and ta apathyata. That is one way. This is the second way using the tap pratyaya. Okay, ikta pratyaya. Ramena shlokaha patitaha. The shloka was read by Rama. Okay, so this is also Karmani. So that is why when you convert into Karmani, instead of using the lakara, very easy to use a tapratyaya. Okay, so because you know how to decline, the patitaha is declined easily like Rama. So you can easily decline because it has the vachana vyavastha with karma, right? Here shlokaha patitaha. If it is shlokau patitau, shlokaha patitaha, you know the vachana vyavastha in karmani is with respect to the karma and not the kartrupadam. Kartrupadam will be in tritiya vibhakti, karma padam should be in prathama vibhakti, and this kriya padam karma anusarati, you know this. So very easy to use your tap pratyaya. Ramena shlokaha patitaha. Tena rotika khadita. Why khadita in strilinga? Because rotika is strilinga. This is the only thing to note. Here we have the linga vyavastha. With the tap pratyaya, we have the linga vyavastha. If the karma is strilinga, use the strilinga kridantam. If the karma pada is pullinga, use the pullinga kridantam. If you have the karma pada in napumsakalinga, then you have to use the napumsakalinga kridantam. Anyway, they are easy. Patitaha, patita, patitam. These are the three forms. One is like Rama, one is like Sita, one is like Vana. Not very complex. Okay. So here we have the linga vyavastha with respect to the karma. In Tingantas, it was only the vachanam vyavastha. Right? Shlokaha apathyata. It could be Gita apathyata. Right? Even if it's a Srilinga pada, it was apathyata still. Right? While using Tingantas, there are no linga vyavastha. There is nothing with Ramaha apatat, Sita apatat. The linga vyavastha will not be there in Tingantas. When you come to Kridantas, you always have the linga vyavastha. Okay. So rotika is strilinga, so we have khadita. And the kartrupadam is of no sambandha with khadita pada. Right. With the Kridanta, it is rotika khadita. It is always following the karma. The chapati or roti was eaten by him. Whether it is Ramena rotika kadita or balakena kadita, it doesn't matter. Rotika, the kadita will always follow the karma padam, which is rotika. Balakaihi katha shruta. Right? Here balaka is plural. Karta is many. Still katha shruta. Katha is only one katha. So shruta. The story was heard by the boys. Iti artha. So when you use the tap pratyaya, right, you have to be careful. It is like karmani prayoga. It will indicate karma. Okay, the tapratyanta which you use, patitaha va, kaditaha va, or shrutaha shruta shrutam, kaditaha kadita kaditam, patitaha patita patitam, you know how to use the tapratyaya. So these will always follow the karma in a sentence. It will not look at the karta. Karta will be in tritiya vibhakti. Remember the karmani prayoga. So tavatu for kartari, tapratyaya for karmani. Okay, so just like how we studied the kartari karmani for the tingantas, same way using kridantas you can frame kartari sentences using tavatu pratyayanta and karmani sentences using tab pratyayanta. Both denote past tense. You should remember that these two pratyayas denote past tense. Balakaihi katha shrutha, maya grihakaryam likitam. So grihakaryam is napumsakalinga, so we have likitam. Okay, so maya pathaha likitaha, right? Maya gita likita, maya grihakaryam likitam. Always the tapratyayanta will look at the karma padam and its linga is decided based on the karma padam. Grihakaryam likitam. Forget about the karta. Okay, when you use the tapratyaya, give importance to the karma and frame the right word, right kridanta, whether it is ekavachana, bahuvachana or strilinga or pullinga, napumsakalinga. The linga and the vachana is important, and to write the correct linga and correct vachana, you have to look at the karma padam. What is the karma padam in the sentence? Okay, so maya grihakaryam likitam. Tvaya pujartham pushpani anitani. So anitaha, anita, anitam. Nitaha, nita, nitam. For ni dhatu, tapratyanta will be nitaha, nita, nitam. Pullinga, strilinga, napumsakalinga. So see what is the dhatu and add the tapratyaya and find this ekavachana rupa for all the three lingas. If it is ni dhatu, okay, what is the tapratyanta? It is nitaha, nita, nitam. If it is pat dhatu, patitaha, patita, patitam. If it is lik dhatu, likitaha, likita, likitam. Khad, kaditaha, kadita, kaditam. So get this form, this pattern if you remember. Then while you use it in the sentence, look at the karma pada. What is the karma pada? Pushpani. Okay, so he brought flowers for the puja. So pushpa is the karma padam. So we have pushpa is a napumsakalinga word and pushpani is bahuvachanam. So we should go with the napumsakalinga bahuvachana rupa. Normally it is prathama vibhakti. A samanya prayoga, it will only be in prathama vibhakti. We have vishesha prayoga where we can use all the other vibhaktis also. Just learn the samanya for now, because we tend to make mistakes. We tend to say shlokam patitam. It comes just like that. Shlokam patitam is a wrong sentence. Shlokaha patithaha is the correct sentence, right? But we are so much used to using this shloka as dvitiya, the karma pada in our kartari sentences. Same way we say shlokam patitam. That is wrong. So shlokaha patitaha, it should be in prathama, karma pada should be in prathama vibhakti. So tvaya pujartham pushpani is napumsakalinga bahuvachanam. So we say anitam, anite, anitani. In napumsakalinga, what is the form of tapratyaya? It is nitam, nite, nitani. So we have a upasarga. So anitam, anite, anitani. So pushpani, anitani. So the flowers were brought for the puja by you iti artha. So remember ktavatu pratyaya bhutakaalarte like your kartari prayoga. Instead of lang lakara rupa, you are going to use your ktavatu forms, right? And no problem with the linga. Aham likitavan, tvam likitavan, not the linga, sorry, the purusha. Purusha vyavastha is not there when you use the ktavatu, right? In tapratyaya, when you use a tapratyaya, again it is bhutakala, but you have to be careful in usage. It is like a karmani prayoga. You have to frame sentence like karmani prayoga. So this kridanta, the tapratyayanta kridanta will always look at the karma padam. Karta will be in tritiya vibhakti. So you have to remember this. So just to see the difference between ktavatu and ta, which both are bhutakalartha pratyaya, but the usage is different. So saha patitavan, aham patitavan, tvam patitavan. So no purusha vyavastha for ktavatu. So when you say patitavan, it is indicating the karta. That is why we say it is a kartari prayoga. We know Kartri-pradhana prayoga, Kartari prayoga, right? So Patitavan is indicating whom, it is indicating Karta. So if it is one Karta, it is Patitavan. If two, Patitavantau. If more than two or Bahuvachana, then Patitavantaha. Saha Patitavan, Tau Patitavantau, Te Patitavantaha. Okay, so that Vachana Vyavastha is there with the Karta. So it is a Kartaram Suchayati. So we use it in Kartari sense, Bhutakala. It could be Shlokam Patitavan or Shlokau Patitavan or Shlokan, whatever he read. Okay, so Karma Padam is in Dvitiya. Okay. Now, when you use the Tap Pratyaya, you get importance you give only to the Karma Pada. Shlokaha Patitaha. Now forget the Karta. Right? So don't care about the Karta. It is Shlokaha singular, Patitaha. Shloka is Pullinga. So I am using Patitaha. Shlokaha Patitaha. Shlokau Patitau. If it is Shlokau, two Shlokas, then Patitau. Shlokaha Patitaha. Shlokas were read. Iti artha. And finally, it is Karma Suchayati. Okay, the Karma is indicated by Tap Pratyaya. For Ktavatu Pratyaya, Karta is indicated. Tap Pratyaya, it is Karma Padam, which is indicated. So you can say Tena. Okay, the Karta will be in Tritiya Vibhakti. So Tena Shlokaha Patitaha, Tena Shlokau Patitau, Tena Shlokaha Patitaha. So understand the difference between the usage of Ktavatu and Ta. One is Kartari, other one is Karmani, but both indicate Bhutakala. Okay, so these are Kridanta padas. So instead of using Apatat, I can use a Kridantam in the sentence Ramaha Shlokam Patitavan. It is easier usage compared to the Lakara usage. Okay, so this is few more examples of Tap Pratyaya. Pustakam Patitam, Pustake Patite, Pustakani Patitani. So in these sentences I have deliberately avoided the Karta. Why? Because we will not make mistake there. It is this place where we will make mistake, right? So this Tap Pratyaya should look at the Karma Pada and the Vachana should change. Okay. So Pustakam Patitam Ramena va, Sitaya va, Balakena va, it's okay. So the Karta will be in Tritiya. But how the Tap Pratyayanta is used, the Vachana is related to the Vachana and the Linga. Both should be as per the Karma Padam. Pustakam is Napumsakalinga Padam, Eka Vachanam, so Patitam. Pustake Napumsakalingam Dvivachanam, so Patite. And Pustakani is Napumsakalinga Bahuvachanam, so we have Patitani. So Patitaha, Patita, Patitam. Three Rupa in Eka Vachanam, in Pullinga, Strilinga, Napumsakalinga for the Tap Pratyaya. And we choose the Napumsakalinga form because Pustaka is Napumsakalinga. Okay. Kavyam Rachitam. So Kavya is a Napumsakalinga pada. So we have Rachitam. Kavye Rachite, Kavyani Rachitani. So poems were composed. Pathaha Likhitaha. Why? Because Patha is a Pullinga pada. Likhitaha. Okay. So never say Patham Likhitam. Okay. So that is wrong. Always keep the Karma pada in Prathama Vibhakti and this Tap Pratyayanta also in Prathama Vibhakti, and the Linga and Vachana should look at the Karma Padam and decide. You should look at the Karma Padam and decide the Linga Vachana. Both are going to be in Prathama Vibhakti. In a Samanya Prayoga, both are in Prathama. Pataha is Prathama Eka Vachanam. Likitaha is also Prathama Eka Vachanam, and both are Pullinga. Right? So Pataha Likitaha, Pathau Likitau, Pathaha Likitaha. Maya athava whoever, Tvaya, whatever Karta is there, it will be there in Tritiya Vibhakti. But this Likita should only look at the Patha for its Vachana, Linga, everything. Okay, we don't worry about the Karta. Patrika Prapta. So the magazine was received or obtained, got. Okay. Patrike Prapte. Patrika is Strilinga Padam. So we say Prapta. Right? Praptaha, Prapta, Praptam. So at the first level, when you want to add the Tap Pratyaya, you know the three forms for all the three lingas in Eka Vachanam. Taha, Ta, Tam. Right? So Apudatu, Aptaha, Apta, Aptam. We have the Pra Upasarga. So Pra and Apu, Praptaha, Prapta, Praptam. Since Patrika is a Strilinga Pada, We say prapta, patrika prapta, patrike prapte, patrikaha praptaha. Okay, so this is Bahuvachanam. Apupaha bhakshitaha. So bhakshitaha is again kridanta. So tapratyaya. Apupaha, it is pullinga pada. So we have bhakshitaha. So apupau bhakshitau. Apupaha bhakshitaha. So both words decline like Rama. In pullinga, it is Rama, Strilinga Sita, and Apumsakalinga Vana. Okay, so when we use the tapratyaya, the mistake all of us make even while speaking is we put the karma in dvitiya vibhakti. We tend to use it that way because we are so much used to making the kartari prayoga with the object in dvitiya. So while using tapratyaya, you have to be very very careful. Remember, the karma padam should be in prathama, right? Karma pada is put in prathama, and tapratyayanta should look only at the karma pada and use the right vachana and linga especially. So pustakam patitam, patrika patita, right? If it was patrika, then strilinga, so patita. Okay, so you have to be careful while using ta pratyaya. So this is all about ktavatu and ta. Ktavatu, tavat will be heard at the pratipadika, right? Like Bhagavan, Bhagavantau, Bhagavantaha, Patitavan, Patitavantau, Patitavantaha. So you have all the three forms. Ktavatu is used like in the kartari, it's a kartari usage, right? So it will always indicate the karta, the kridanta will indicate the karta. This ta pratyaya is karmani, okay? So this ta ikta pratyaya word, the kridanta, it will indicate the karma. That is the difference between ktavatu and ta pratyaya. So before moving on, we will see if there are any questions. Okay. So much noise in the background. Evam va? I mean, you said it was clear. So, yes, Jay Shri Bhagini, you have a question? Namaste Bhagini. Jay Shri Bhagini, you can unmute yourself. You have a question? Lalita Bhagini, I can't hear you, Jay Shri Bhagini.
Bhagini, somebody is talking too loud at the background. It's very disturbing actually.
I don't hear. You have.
Somebody is talking in the background actually. Or if somebody has unmuted, I don't know.
Oh, Bhagini, I mean, I don't see anybody.
Somebody is talking in Tamil. I'm able to hear it.
Okay, fine. That is okay. That is in my neighborhood. Sorry.
Okay.
Ravi Shankar Mahodaya. Ravi Shankar Mahodaya, you have a question?
Yeah. I just wanted, so like the Shatru always follows Parasme and shanach Atmane. Here also Ktavatu follows Parasme and
No,
Tya
no, no,
follows
no. We
Atmane.
don't have that Veda here. You can add Ktavatu to any dhatu. Sarvebhya dhatubhya bhavati. Same way with ta pratyaya. Only for Shatru Shanach we have this difference saying Shatru is added only to Parasmaipadi, Shanach is added only to Atmanepadi. Otherwise there are no, for other pratyayas you don't have such a classification. Yes. You can add
Actually,
to
this
all
Jayashree
dhatu.
is not muted. That is why so much of sound. She is not contactable. Someone,
No,
if
no, I
Jayashree
have
mutes, I
muted
think
everybody. So this is probably you're hearing from my
from
neighborhood.
Vyoma, huh? From Vyoma.
No,
Okay.
I'm
So
not.
Ktavatu can go with both Parasme and Atmanepadi forms. That's what he said.
Yes,
Tavata
yes.
and Tara.
Tavatu and ta sarvebhyaha dhatubhyaha bhavati. Yes, both can be added to any number of, I mean any dhatu. You don't have to see if it is a parasmaipadi or atmanipadi. The difference is only for
Okay.
the shatrusha, not for these two pratyayas.
And that's why when you started with one, I got confused for Tavati. You are using one. I thought one is a Atmane Padishu. It should go for
No, no, no.
pratyaya. I was thinking.
You
Okay.
can use with all dhatus. Savatuvanta can be used with all dhatus. Okay.
Sometimes
Lalita.
it becomes confusing because there we have here the mana hai, here we have Patichavan. So that is the only to memorize, and to form it. When you
Yeah,
found
it is
the
initially
one
difficult, but yeah, initially it looks difficult, but when you start reading the patha, it becomes. I mean, you can remember. It's not so difficult. So, sort of.
Okay. Thank you so much.
अस्तु विद्या प्रकाश मोहिनी महोदय प्रश्नः अस्ति वा
Namaste.
नमस्ते
Very
भगिनि
well explained. But I wanted to know just in like in past tense, there is Kartari and Karmani Prayoga. So is there for present tense also in Kridanta there is Karmani and Kartari difference somewhere
in present tense no present tense no
in
normally
present tense?
it's
Just
only the lakara the tingantas you have learnt in the previous pathas
only Kartari. Acha.
pathati
It will be
pathyate
only Kartari Prayoga. Okay.
you have karmani no pathyate it is tingantas we don't use the kridanta
That is what I was asking.
you
So no
no
Kridanta for Karmani.
no
Okay.
we are not using this yes so bhutakalartha
Thank
we
you.
use tavatu it ha
Dhanyavad.
धन्यवादः मीनाल मेहता महोदय
महोदय बहुत अच्छे से बताया। थोड़ा जो मुझे डाउट है वो कि त प्रत्यय इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल फॉर कर्तरी और इट इज स्पेसिफिक फॉर
Ah,
कर्मणि।
yes, there are exceptions for certain dhatus. Say, for example, gam dhatu. So, Ramaha gataha. It can indicate karta also. Okay, so that is next level. So, at the
ओके
basic level, we learn it this way. And there are a specific set of dhatus which can also be used. The tapratya can also be used in kartartha. It is there,
ओके
but we will
सो
not go
दैट इज
into.
ओनली फॉर फ्यू धातुस दैट यू कैन यूज
Ah,
द
yes.
प्रत्यय इन
Only for
कर्तरी
a specific list of dhatus, not for all. Yes.
एंड
The
इवन
general by
इन
default it is.
कर्तरी इट वुड मीन पास्ट टेंस ओनली।
Always past tense only. There is no change. It is always a bhutakalartha pratyaya. But widely it is used in karmartha for all the dhatus. For a specific set of dhatus alone, it can be used in kartarartha. Okay. So
ओके
anyway, that is a kind of an exception. So we will not.
एक्सेप्शनल।
Yeah, yeah. So, but this is the common prayoga is this way. It is in karmartha. It will indicate the karma.
So
Okay.
Kta-vatu is kartartha and the is karmartha.
Karmartha. Yes, yes. And bhutakalartha. Both are bhutakalartha. Yes.
And both are bhutkal.
Yeah. Ham. Astu. Okay. So, if there are no other questions, then we will see the next one. So this is there in your patha, the Tavyat, aniyar, pratyaya. So the next two pratyaya or the last pratyaya, the Kridanta pratyaya that we will be studying is the Tavyat and aniyar pratyaya. So these two are vidhyartakas. So vidhyartake atava preranartake. Okay, eto pratyayo vihito. So we want to say it conveys mood, we say for vidhiling lakara, lot lakara, right? What kind of prayoga we say we want to order somebody or we want to request somebody to do something. No, so you ask someone to do something. So in that artha we will use this tavyat and aniyar. So these are the two pratyayas. Again they both mean the same. The forms are different. Tavyat is a different pratyaya. Aniyar is a different pratyaya. But the meaning conveyed by these two pratyayas are the same. It is either vidhi or a prerana. Prerana means you are asking someone to do something. That is prerana. So vidhis you can take it as an order or request, however it can be. Okay, it could be an order or a request, or it has different types of, say you can invite somebody. Okay, so and it could be their wish whether to come, say you are calling somebody home, so you can call them. It is kind of whether they can accept and they come home or they don't accept and they say I will see some other time, right? So all these kinds of, when you want to invite somebody or order somebody, request somebody, such kind of sentences we can use these tavyat and aniyar. So dhatuhu plus tavyat, tavya iti ante shruyate. So you hear tavya. Okay, tavyat is the pratyaya. The term is tavyat. But when you add it to dhatu, what you hear at the end in the pratipadika, it is tavya. Tavya is what you hear in the pratipadika. Again, luckily akaranta. So whatever pratipadikam is akaranta, they will have forms like Rama, Sita, Vana. Okay. So aniyar. So you will have aniya will be heard at the end or aniya. Okay. So it is either aniya or aniya for all the dhatus. You can apply it to all dhatus. Tavyat can be applied to all dhatus. Aniyar can also be applied on all dhatus. Udaharanam. Satyam vaditavyam. Vad dhatu plus tavyat pratyaya vaditavyam. Satyam vaditavyam. Satyam vadaniyam. Right? Vaditavyam vadaniyam. Adya kim karyam kartavyam. So kridatu tavyat pratyaya kartavyam. Kridatu aniyar pratyaya karaniyam. Okay, so you know these forms. Only that you will not have known that it is aniyar. The pratyaya there is aniyar. But these words, they are very common words which you would have already heard. Kartavyam, karaniyam. So patha plus tavyat pratyaya. Tavya is what is added. So pathi tavya is the pratipadika. Kridantam pratipadikam is pathi tavya. So you can't use patitavya in your sentence. So you have to add all the 21 supratyayas, come up with 21 forms in Pullinga, 21 forms in Strilinga, 21 forms in Napumsakalinga. So patitavyaha in Pullinga, patitavya in Strilinga, patitavyam in Napumsakalinga. So patitavyaha will be declined like Rama. Patitavyaha, patitavyo, patitavyaha. Sorry, Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Yeah. So then patitavya in Strilinga like Sita. Sita, Site, Sitaha. Patitavya, patitavye, patitavyaha. Then vanam, vane, vanani. Patitavyam, patitavye, patitavyani. Iti. Okay. So aniyar. Same way you add the aniyar pratyaya. Pataniya will be heard. So the pratipadika is pataniya. So either aniya or aniya will be heard in the pratipadika. Again this is akaranta, so not a problem. It will be declined like Rama, Sita and Vanam. So pataniyaha in Pullinga, pataniya in Strilinga, pataniyam in Napumsakalingam. Okay. So we will see some forms. Gamadatu, gantavyaha when you add tavyat. Gamaniyaha when you add the aniyar pratyaya. Okay, so there are differences in the forms, but these are very common forms, so you might have heard this. So gantavyaha, when I say, it is like you have to go, you should go. Okay, so you should go. Gamaniyaha, again you should. It's a vidyartha or it could be a request also. Okay, so order or request. In such statements we use this tavyat and aniyar. So gantavya atava gamaniya in Strilinga, gantavyam napumsakalinga, gamaniyam. Okay, so tavyaha, tavya, tavyam. Remember that tavyaha, tavya, tavyam. Aniyaha, aniya, aniyam. Okay, so for certain dhatus it will be the anakara. The anatva will happen. Initially we will remember. Most probably dhatus which has got rakara or rukara, right, or shakara, the murdhanya shakara. These might have this nakara. Instead of the talavya nakara, you will hear the murdhanya nakara. Okay. Anyway, at this stage we will not go too much into the rules and all that, but looking at the forms with the familiarity, you will be able to, at this stage you can pick up. Datavyaha, da dhatu, datavyaha with tavyat pratyaya, da and aniyar, daniyaha. Datavyaha, daniyaha. Same way, Strilinga, datavya, daniya, datavyam, daniyam. We have padatu, patavyaha. So patavyaha, paniyaha. Patavya, paniya. Patavyam, paniyam. Nidatu, netavyaha. And we have nayaniyaha. Okay, so netavyaha, nayaniyaha. Netavya, nayaniya. Netavyam, nayaniyam. So wherever in the dhatu, if you have a ikara, okay, so in the dhatu, if you hear a ikara, for the aniyars, you will hear the ayaniya. Instead of aniya, you will find the yakara. Ayaniya iti bhavati. Okay. So one yakara will be heard. Okay. This is all common rule. It is not like strictly applied. Okay. So most probably when you have ikaranta dhatu, e or e both, right? You will have ayaniyaha iti bhavitum arhati. Kridatu kartavyaha karaniyaha. Okay, kartavyaha karaniyaha. Kartavya karaniya. Kartavyam karaniyam. Okay, so the meaning of these two words, both aniyar pratyaya and tavyat pratyaya, they give the same artha. They convey the same artha. The forms are only different. So we will see example sentences also. So pullinge Rama Shabdavat. So ganthavyaha. If you have ganthavyo, gantavyaha. Like Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. Right? Strilinga, it is like Rama. So gantavya, gantavye, gantavyaha. Rama, Rame, Ramaha. So tavya, tavye, tavyaha. It is like vanam in Napumsakalinga. Gantavyam, gantavye, gantavyani. Vanam, vane, vanani. Okay. Then we have aniyar. Gamaniyaha. Okay, gamudatu, gamaniyaha, gamaniyau, gamaniyaha. Again like Rama. Then Strilinga, again like Sita. Gamaniya, gamaniye, gamaniyaha, gamaniyam, gamaniye, gamaniyani. Okay, so niyaha, niya, niyam. Okay, so aniyaha or ayaniyaha for ikarantas. Same way avaniyaha you will hear when for ukaranta. Okay, so we will slowly see the forms. So just to understand the artha, what it conveys. Karmanaha lingam anusarati. So again, this is also like the tapratyaya. How you use the tapratyaya? Pathaha pataniyaha. Okay, so it will also indicate the karma. So certain krit pratyayas, they are not indicating the karta. So remember, first one was tapratyaya which we learned. Same way here also, this is the samanya prayoga. We have this denoting the karma. Pataha pataniyaha. The patha should be read. Pataha patitavyaha. Both means the patha must be read or should be read. Bhagavad Gita pataniya. Again, so you have to go as per the karma padam. So aniyar pratyaya also, tavyat pratyaya. Both when you use, look at the karma pada and do the prayoga. So Bhagavad Gita pataniya, Bhagavad Gita patitavya. Srimad Ramayanam pataniyam or patitavyam. Okay, so if the karma pada is pullinga, pataniyaha. Karma pada is strilinga, pataniya. Karma pada is napumsakalinga, pataniyam. So kena ramenava, tvayava, mayava, that is okay. Okay, but it will look at the karma pada. Pataha, same way with tavyat pratyaha. Pataha patitavyaha. Bhagavad Gita patitavya. Ramayanam patitavyam. Okay, so tavyaha, tavya, tavyam. Niyaha, aniyaha, aniya, aniyam. Shlokaha vaditavyaha athava shlokaha vadaniyaha. So shloka is pulling the pada, so we say vaditavyaha. Vadadatu tavyat pratyaya vaditavya. Okay, so vadadatu aniyar pratyaya vadaniya. Okay, so when you want the aniyar form, add aniya. Okay, or aniya will be heard. For tavyat it is tavya. Somewhere we have ikaranta, somewhere we don't hear. It is like the other cases what we saw, like say we have gamishyati in or namsyati, where we hear the ikara, where we don't hear the ikara. There are certain dhatus for which we hear ikara, for which we don't hear. So with familiarity we will understand. So vaditavyaha, vadaniyaha. Katha is a strilinga pada, so we have vaditavya, vadaniya. Uttaram napumsakalingam, so vaditavyam athava vadaniyam. Okay, so this aniyar tavyat also like your tapratyaya. When you use it in the sentences, it should be according to the karma. Okay, so karma padam, what is the karma pada? And it should go with the linga and the vachana as per the karma padam in the sentence. So this is a samanya prayoga of Tavyat and aniyar. Okay, this is what normally we hear, this kind of prayoga. So yada samanya prayoga kriyate, it is like your karmani prayoga. Okay, so karmani prayogavat, you have to have the prathama vibhakti on karma padam, not on the karta. Okay, so maya pataha pataniyaha. Okay, or tvaya pataha pataniyaha. The karta will be in tritiya, right? Mostly tritiya. Here patha, which is the karma padam, will be in prathama vibhakti. Karma padam prathama vibhaktau bhavati. Tavyat aniyar pratyayantaha karma anusarati. Okay, like your tab pratyaya, tavyat and aniyar pratyayantas, they follow the karma. Ataha prathama vibhaktau bhavati. So normally the karma is in prathama vibhakti. So this is also in prathama vibhakti. Pataniyaha, patitavyaha, we use in prathama vibhakti, just like the case we saw in tab pratyaya. Only the linga and vachana matters for both ta and this usage of ta and usage of aniyar tavyat. So this is a samanya prayoga, okay, a simple usage. Okay, so simple usage, what we look at is the linga and the vachana. So if I have pat and tavyat, what is the linga and what is the vachana? That you should know. For knowing the linga and the vachana, I have to know what is my karma padam. Okay, if patha is my karma padam, then it is pullinga. So I have to use a pullinga prayoga for my tavyat or aniyar. If it is Bhagavad Gita, then it is a strilinga karma padam. Or if it is Ramayanam, it is a napumsakalinga karma padam. So based on my karma padam, this aniyar and tavyat pratyayanta should take form. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita pataniya athava patitavya. Right, it should be studied. Iti artha. Then kartrupadam prayena tritiya vibhakto. So there are cases where karta can also be in shashti with respect to the aniyar and tavyat alone. Okay, in this case. But normally, okay, the normal usage is we keep it in tritiya. So ramena pataha pataniyaha. Right. So this is the samanya rule. When you use tavyat and aniyar, keep your sentence like in a karmani prayoga. Keep the prathama vibhakti on the karma padam, karta in tritiya vibhakti, and use the correct linga and the vachana. So in tingantas, in karmani prayoga, we never cared about the linga. But whenever you talk about a kridanta, the linga also matters. Because you know they have different forms in pullinga, different forms in strilinga, different forms in napumsakalinga. So once you want to use a kridanta in your sentence, then give importance to linga also. With tingantas, we didn't care about the linga, but this kridanta, whenever you use a kridanta to represent a kriya or whatever pratyayas we saw, if you want to use those words in the sentence, give importance to the linga also along with the vachana and the vibhakti, whatever. Okay, so this is all about Tavyat and aniyar. We will see more examples in the next class, but before that we will see few sentence examples. So maya pataha pataniyaha, which means the lesson ought to be studied or must be studied by me, iti artha. Or you can also say I must study the lesson. Okay, the English sentence when you frame it could be, if you can put it in karmani, it is okay. If you can't put certain English sentences cannot be put in karmani. So that cases we can also use a direct English sentence in kartri. Right. So maya pataha pataniyaha is the lesson must be studied by me. Tvaya pataha patitavyaha. So both pataniya and patitavya, they mean the same. You are free to choose or use anything, either aniyar or the tavyat pratyaya. So tvaya pataha patitavyaha. So the lesson must be studied by you. Wherever it is pataha patitavyaha, pataha pataniyaha, whether karta is you or me, mayava bhavatu, tvayava bhavatu, pataha pataniyaha is the right sentence. Again, patha is a karma padam, should be in prathama vibhakti. So your pataniya is also in prathama vibhakti, but the linga is important. If it is patha, okay, pullinga, so you use pullinga. If it is something else in strilinga, then you will have to use a strilinga. Okay. So tvaya pataha patitavyaha, asmabhihi patau patitavyau. Now when you have asmabhihi, asmabhihi pataha patitavyaha, that is also right. Asmabhihi patau, when you have two pathas, patitavyau, right? Patitavyaha, patitavyau, patitavyaha in like Rama, in pullinga. Okay, so first thing patha is pullinga. Remember, first thing that you must look at is what is the linga of my karma pada. Whenever you use a krudanta, when you use a krudanta, what is the linga of my karma pada? And before that, my krudanta, will it indicate the karta or the karma? Okay, so you have learned so many pratyayas now. So will that pratyayanta indicate my karta or karma? That you should be very clear. So once you know, okay, this tavyat and aniyar are going to indicate the karma padam, then next question is what is the linga of my karma padam? And then what is the vachana? As per linga and vachana, we give the correct kridanta pada. Okay. So pathav patitavyav. So in this sentence, asmabihi pathav patitavyav, all three words are subantas. Remember, you cannot call patitavyaha or pataniyaha as tinganta or a kriya pada. Okay. So normally, kriya padam is a tinganta. A tinganta means always a lakara rupa, which has got the thing at the end. So these kridanta words, no, they are all called as subanta. Okay, because you know it is a pratipadika kridanta and you add supratyaya. Once you add supratyaya on something or you get the 21 forms, it is called a subanta. You can't call it as a tinganta. Don't call this patitavyu as tinganta or kriya padam also. We don't normally use the word. Normally we say kriya padam for a tinganta. Okay. So these three sentences, these three words, they are all subantas. Among them, patitavyu is a kridanta. Okay, so it is a kridanta because this tavyat is a krid pratyaya. Okay, so asmabihi pathav patitavyu. 2 lessons must be studied by us. Okay. Yushmabihi pathav patitavyu. Again, the 2 lessons must be studied by you all. Iti artha. Then tvaya karyani karaniyani. Okay, so karyani is napumsakalinga bahuvachanam. Okay, karyam, karye, karyani. So karyani karaniyani atava kartavyani. Okay, so karaniyam, karaniye, karaniyani like phalam phale phalani. Same way kartavyam, kartavye, kartavyani like phalam phale phalani. So karyani karaniyani. The tasks must be done by you. Iti artha. Asmabihi karyam kartavyam. So karyam is napumsakalinga ekavachanam. So we say kartavyam athava karaniyam. Asmabihi karyam kartavyam. Karyam karaniyam. Okay, so tavyat and aniyar also look at the karta like your ikta pratyaya. So the work must be done by us. So both tavyat and aniyar can be added to all dhatus. Okay, there is no beda. Only for Shatru shanach we have the beda. All the other pratyayas, whatever we have learnt, we are not having any beda. It can be applied, all the pratyayas can be applied to any dhatu. And these are the sentences given in the tavyat aniyar lesson. Okay, the first few sentences that I have covered here. We still have more sentences. So we will look at few more sentences in the next class. So I will stop here. If there are any questions, you can ask. Ravi Shankar Mode, raised your hand.
So this tavyat and aniyar is exclusively for lot lakara or vigiling lakara type. If you compare,
they normally they give the mood. They convey the mood. You should do that. Yeah. So vidhi or
order command, order request.
Yes. And in such cases we use them. Yes.
But it can be used for both parasmay pada as well as atmane.
Yes. Only for Shatru shanach you have to be careful. You can't add a shanach to a parasmay padi dhatu. Okay. So Vilash Mahoday. Okay. Namaste. Tap pratyaya tavatu pratyayanta doesn't go back to visheshana. Tap pratyayanta tavatu pratyayanta can also be used as visheshana. It is possible. So whatever sentences we saw, if you see, we have always used this in prathama vibhakti. You see Ramaha patitavan, Sita patitavati, everything is in prathama. Starting from dvitiya, if you want, you can use it as visheshana. Okay, so patitavantam balakam ahvaya. I can use it as a visheshana. Both tavatu and this can be used as visheshana. Yes.
You said you can also use shashti in the Karmani Prayoga in certain cases, like when you are using aniyar and tavyat. Did I hear correct?
Yes. So it comes in that even that very famous shloka. Lokahitam mama karaniyam.
Yes.
Lokahitam maya karaniyam. It doesn't say mama karaniyam. So there are certain. It is also kind of that prayoga also exists. Lokahitam mama karaniyam. It says that part that ganam. No, I don't remember that.
Right, right. No, that's right. And another request that I cannot join the WhatsApp link. The link provided in the course page doesn't work. So please add my number. I've sent the message, the number 9411 Bala
Okay, I will make
230.
a note. Huh.
So
I
kindly add, please.
sure. Huh. Yes.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. And you teach so well.
Huh. ధన్యవాదాలు. Okay. So if there are any other questions, please raise. Otherwise, we can start. Okay. Loka samastha sukino bhavantu. So we meet on Friday. We will continue with this aniyar exercises from the pustaka. ధన్యవాదాः. So we'll